$3,000 dining table coming up. So the timbers that I'm going to be using are from my grandpa's 100-year-old barn that fell over. I salvaged the materials some years ago. I'm going to use some of these posts here, as well as some of these roof rafters that I have down here. It's going to be awesome. 40 inches right here, that's our finished table width. We're going to lose a couple inches when we joint them and get it nice and tight together and then glue them together. So we'll see what I'm going to do down the road with that. Then again, these are 8 feet long, so I'm going to cut a couple feet off the ends. But we're going to plane the whole thing, see what it looks like, which is one of my favorite parts. So we have our boards planed down. We're real close. I'll just do some final sanding to get any more of this. If I want to get this down just a bit, I'll do some hand sanding on this. But I wanted to leave these saw marks in here. But on these edges, there's still some nails that are rusted into it. And the ones that I can't pull out, I think I'm just going to have to smash down in there as deep as I can before I run them through the joiner to get a good edge glue up. Most of the nails are pounded in now. That's the only thing I can really think of minus digging out a bunch of this wood. So now I'm going to put an old blade on the table saw, cut these all to width, cut these to length, and then if I hit a nail with the old table saw blade, that's okay, I'll see it, and then I'll just pound it further down into the wood, run it through the joiner, and then we'll get to the glue up. So we have just about 48 inches right here. All these boards are slightly different widths, but to get to our desired width, we can take off about ½ an inch off of each board. So we'll cut off ¼ inch off of each side, then we'll run them through the joiner, and that'll get us real close to what our desired width is. I cut through some nails. Nope, I can just see a couple. Nice. Now there's propeller twist in some of this wood, so I'm gonna have to figure out the best way to glue it up. And I also want to alternate the way these curves are from the circular saw marks, so that might make things a little bit more tricky as well. So there's a propeller twist in some of these boards, so I'm gonna have to figure out the best way to glue them up while still getting a tight joint, and then being able to fix that towards the end, to try and fix that gap and then fix the high points. But at the end, I'm gonna still pour over a big, thick bar top type finish to cover all this up and to make it nice and smooth, easy to wipe off. We'll figure it out. Just take some finagling. Well, hit a couple nails there. Oh well, good thing it was only on the table saw. So we have right here our smooth, plain surface on the inside, our rough sawn look on the outside. All the edges are jointed on the joiner so it can fit nice and tight together. So instead of doing the whole thing with the rough sawn surface, we decided to do smooth on the inside, rough on the outside, maybe some rough on the ends. Those are just a mock-up right now, so we will adjust those, change those out. But it's coming together, about ready for glue up. I'm excited. What do you think, Alex?
That's a really smart idea.
Let's glue it up 2 at a time. I'm going to spread this glue out, let it soak in for a couple minutes. This wood is pretty porous. It's not very dense like oak or something like that. So that's why I'm going to let this soak in for just a minute. This step saves so much time in the end. I didn't put a newspaper down underneath. Nice.
I just cut posts and then glue on
Post. Remember what we were watching.
the outside is pretty cool, see?
So we have a little problem that I'm trying to figure out, and we'll see how it goes. The table's not perfectly flat. I knew it wasn't going to be, but it was real flat when I had in the clamps. So when I take it out of the clamps, there's about a 1/4 inch dip in the middle. And so with the breadboard ends, that could be a problem. And then there's a slight propeller twist to these boards and how they were put together. And it's just how the wood aged, basically. So what we're making is a breadboard end. It allows for seasonal wood movement, and it's a big giant mortise and tenon joint, and you'll see towards the end on how everything is prepared up. So instead of chopping all the wood out, I left one side attached, so that gives a nice edge for the router to glide on. And the reason you cut these tenons out is so wood can expand and contract throughout the seasons, especially in high humidity. And then what we're going to do is just cut a groove in here, a big dado, and then we'll chop out the waste on the inside. To chop out the waste on the inside, I'm just going to measure out and see where I need to drill a hole. So I'll drill multiple holes inside the dado so the tenons can slip into them. So after I drill those holes, I'll chop it out and square it out with the chisel. And then we'll be able to slide it in, slide the breadboard end in, and it'll make a nice fit to be able to expand and contract. We'll see you on the next one. Keep surviving where we make the base.